Hi, Dar here from Choose to Live with Joy. Let's talk about joy. Virtual or in-person school, masks, social distancing, Black Lives Matter, politics, extended time with the family during quarantine. Do these sound familiar? Yes, they're the daily topics of discussion on the news. And I don't know about you, but my Facebook and Instagram feeds have been blowing up with everybody's opinions on these subjects. These are all things that are causing dissension, divisiveness, and pain in our lives, and are trying to steal our joy. So today, I'd like to talk to you about a way to ease that pain and reclaim our joy. And it all comes down to one word: acceptance. Acceptance is one of the keys to unlock the joy in your life. The definition of acceptance is the willingness to tolerate a difficult situation. I think 2020 definitely qualifies as that difficult situation. Now, I know that this might sound like that we should just throw in the towel and admit defeat, or stick our head in the sand when it comes to these situations and discussions that cause divisiveness. But acceptance is actually the opposite of defeat or denial. It's the realization that this is just how life is. It's a storm we must walk through. It's a part of life, not something to escape. As long as we struggle with the day-to-day difficulties and try to fight back against them, we will be traveling down a road that leads to a very bumpy and unjoyful life. The question we must ask ourselves is, how do we find the good in these daily events and use them to create something positive and joyful? But the even bigger question is, how the heck do we do that? Well, I'd like to share with you a little bit about one of the situations I've been dealing with during these times and how I've been able to use acceptance to make it a lot better. With COVID-19, we're all being asked to wear masks, not just to protect ourselves, but to protect others and to help limit the spread. Well, as a person with a weakened immune system due to the medications that I'm taking for my cancer treatment, I have a very strong and personal opinion about this. And until recently, I was very vocal and judgmental about my opinion. It irritated me to no end to have to stay away from certain events or people whenever I saw that they were not going to be following masking or social distancing. I was getting myself all worked up about this. But then I realized that there was really nothing I could change. I couldn't change what other people were going to do. I had to accept the fact that I do have cancer, and I can't do all of the things that other people might be doing. I had to accept that others felt comfortable congregating without masks, that it was their decision. I had to work really hard to limit my judgment and criticism and to change my expectation about how others were going to act. Now, I'll be very honest with you, I still have not been able to turn this 100% into something positive. But I'm learning every day how to be able to do more things without being so upset about these situations. Now, I maybe can't hang at the beach with my family and friends whenever it's busy, but I was able to take recently a week at the beach. Now, I spent most of my time isolated in the cottage that we rented, but my early mornings were mine to go walk on the beach when it was virtually a ghost town, and it was such a joyful time for me. I've also learned that I often can't participate in neighborhood get-togethers because people aren't wearing masks or following social distancing. but I can invite a few friends to my backyard, and we can have lovely social distance visits. I now find that I am rarely as upset and judgmental about the masking issue as I used to be. I have been learning to accept. Now, another example of acceptance in your life could be a friend or a family member who is frequently difficult and negative. You know who they are. Whenever you're around them, you get anxiety and you're sad and you're even angry. And after you've been with them, you might be very critical about them when you're talking to other people. Or you might be very despairing of the quality of the relationship. You can deny what's happening, or you can say, it's really not so bad. Or you can accept the situation and try to improve it. Now, it's a very courageous action to accept these kind of situations and try to do something about them, because you can't control how the other person is going to react. You can only control what you are going to show them, and you can show them compassion and kindness instead of anger and judgment. You can let them know how you feel, but be aware that your actions may have little or no effect on them. You have made a decision to accept the situation and change whatever you can change, even if it means just changing your attitude. As you can see, acceptance is a choice. It's choosing to have a peaceful state of mind. It doesn't mean you like, want, or choose to support others' opinions or actions. You are just giving yourself permission to have your own opinions and actions. It also does not mean that you're being passive and just giving up. You can still continue to work on the situation. It also does not mean that the way it is today is the way it's always going to be. Your discussion with that friend or family member may have planted a seed that will cause future change. It doesn't have to be a battle. It does not have to steal your joy. If you've ever tried to be more accepting of others, you know how difficult it is to do. Like many difficult things, I've learned it just takes practice over and over. You know, like the muscles in our body, well, we have to exercise our acceptance muscles. So don't beat yourself up. If you seem to struggle, don't worry about it. Just keep on trying. I know that I struggle with my acceptance every single day. But keep learning. Do the best you can and remain curious as to what might happen next in the situation. Now, I'd like to warn you, though, that acceptance does not mean that you're winning a particular battle. Your definition of success should be that you are no longer judgmental. You no longer have anxiety when confronted with these situations. And you no longer give them the power to derail your joy. Acceptance should give us hope. You accept your situation, and as you do that, your fears and anxiety will get smaller and your life will get bigger. I know that's been true in my case. Once I accepted that my life included my cancer, I was able to move on and decide what kind of life I wanted to live. I no longer had to be afraid and angry about my situation. I took my negative feelings and my depression and funneled the energy right into finding a joyful life. Cancer is a part of my life, but it isn't becoming my life. I'd like you to take whatever situations, big or small, in your life and practice accepting that they are what they are. Find ways to turn them into a positive. And if you can't change the situation, change your attitude toward it. It isn't easy but it's worth it to reclaim your joyful life. Now go. Have a joyful day.